Hey people, what's up? We're back. Sturd Vision, episode 29. Showing more love to the great legend, Tony Todd. We're over here talking about the movie Zombies. We got myself, we got the creature feature teacher here, Matt.
What's up?
How's it going, man?
Good. How's it going?
Pretty good. I feel like it's been forever. I know we talk all the time, but as far as this, it was maybe a month ago when because we did the Tony Todd tribute.
Mm-hmm.
But we're gonna try to pick it back up in 2025, people. We're gonna try our best. Us and some help from some others and stuff. But we're gonna try our best to pick this up in 2025. It's just yeah, man, busy people. Shit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens. We're gonna have some fun though. But we're kicking it off, like I said, tonight, talking about zombies, and this is the last episode of Sturdo Vision for the year, and the horror so sturdy. We're gonna take the holiday off. Popcorn and Pints will be Saturday night at 9 o'clock Eastern time, or 8 o'clock. Sorry, 8 o'clock, because we're doing the Santa thing too, the Secret Santas and all that. But and then that'll be the last one until 2025 as well. But coming back, Horror Search 30 on the 1st. Hope to see you guys there. But tonight, man, zombies. This is the first time watch for me, man. This is the first time watch, and I had a good time with this. I enjoyed this. I really enjoyed this.
Yeah, say if you're like a fan of what was it, Walking Dead or that weird TV show? I think it was called Zombie Nation. That was on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Hmm.
You probably would like this movie.
Z Nation,
Z Nation.
or was that the movie? Whatever. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it was Z Nation was the TV show. It was the one that kind of teeter-tottered with Walking Dead. It was like on the US
Okay.
on the Sci-Fi Network.
I I'll say that this wasn't like a great movie. I did enjoy it. More so the action in it. The action is always fun in zombie films for the most part.
Yeah, this is definitely more action than horror, but you get a lot more with the zombies too.
Yeah. And then story wise, I mean, you don't
It
really
has,
care about the
it has
story
some
too much.
holes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. But you own this movie, so I'm assuming you've seen this movie a few times.
This is my second time viewing. I watched it the first time when I bought it. Because, like I said, I think I found this at the dollar store back in the
Really?
day when they're selling movies for $1.25. And of course, I'm like zombies. All right, that's just a generic title. But I saw Tony Todd in the casting. I'm like, I'm buying it just for him.
Exactly. Exactly. Worth it for that alone. Worth it
Yeah, it
for that
was.
alone. And I mean, like I said, it was the acting wasn't the greatest, but it wasn't like god awful either. It was nowhere near god awful. It wasn't horrible. There were some actors, and I'm not even including Tony Todd when I say this. There were some actors that were quite a bit stronger than others.
Hmm.
Um,
Like
at
the
parts,
main
I feel
lead
like
wasn't that strong.
no,
He was kind of like there.
he was in the middle. He
Yeah.
was in the middle. I feel like for the dialogue parts is where were his weakest parts, but for the action parts, I like what they did with him for the action parts.
Hmm.
Even if it was a stunt double, whatever it was, I'm sure. I don't know. I'm not gonna say I'm sure it wasn't him, but I don't know how that works. I don't know how that worked for this film, I should say. But let's just say it was him for like those action scenes and those sequences. I thought it was cool. But for the dialogue, he definitely wasn't strong enough for the dialogue.
No, not much at all. Tony Todd's character was really good. I liked his character. I like how it played off like he was I don't know if he was the cop or he was a military buddy or something. The one that
Hmm.
busted the main character out of prison, saying, this is what we need. We need to get supplies. We need, like, he was
Yeah,
just an overall, this is the guy that you want to listen to. Like, he's your leader.
yeah,
And I liked that role that he played.
and it worked for him because in this movie he's older, of course. So it's like he has some action, but it's not too much. But he's still like an important. You know what I mean? He was still an important role. It wasn't. It didn't feel like it was. It was more than just a cameo role, which I know he was in it more than that. But you know what I mean? It wasn't just like a cameo. I have him in it, so we go and jump and buy it. It was like no, he was actually in. He was important in it.
Hmm.
They put him in it. They made him. You know what I mean? They made it make sense for him to be in it and all that good. Which it's appreciated and it's cool. It works. It worked.
Just some of the one-liners weren't that good in the movie either. with
Yeah.
the it was just all right. You got this cool like what was it the farming equipment scene, that giant tiller or
Mhm.
shredder or whatever the fuck it was. It was cool that they were plowing through the zombies. Yeah, you got this bad CGI blood squirting everywhere, and which was kind of like really. But they're like a zombie. What they call it? They called it uh, a a tiller or a shredder or a they mixed zombie with the word, and it just like was like really okay, not really funny, but
It's it was what see it was one of the I know exactly what I don't remember what the term was, but it was one of those ones where they just kind of I feel like they kind of touched like that really light cheesy. You know the slang that only sticks around for like 2 years.
hmm
If like and movies always use it or overuse it. The ones that don't stick around to where like say if this movie came out, let's just say this movie came out in 2000 or it actually came out in 2016. So perfect. There's a lot of shit that we said in 2016 that we don't say anymore as far as slang goes. I don't even remember what is or what's not. But so I'm sure it was something. I feel like it was a feeling like that to where like once you leave that era or that kind of time period, even if it's like 2-3 years of it, whatever. Once you're out of that, some of it doesn't stick well with the movies where it doesn't. You know what I mean? It doesn't hold to how things are now. You get what I'm saying?
hmm
And I feel like that's probably what it is with that whatever she said in that scene for you is probably like what the fuck. Like why you didn't even have to say that. You didn't have to say anything. But that. Come on.
But we also get this villain, like she's this villain halfway through the movie, but we
Oh,
don't get to see her much like through the rest of the film. Like you give us this big top line villain, usually you have until the end. This was like, all right, we'll give you halfway, we'll give you a villain, and then that's it.
okay. I
And
want
then
to
it's
talk about that villain.
yeah,
She was not believable as a villain. I'm not all
no,
right. And I'm not saying that because she was a female. Not at
no,
all. She wasn't a strong enough character. Like she wasn't pulling the evil role off as far as like the top villain boss. She wasn't pulling that off for me. It wasn't believable for me. She didn't look like I wasn't terrified. You know what I mean? You want to be like a little nervous or something, or like a little like she didn't feel. I don't know. She's felt more like she felt more like a brat, like somebody with a bratty attitude, just kind of doing what they wanted, but not like a villainous person. You know what I mean?
hmm
There was like nothing. There was nothing that scared you about her. Nothing that was like, oh my goodness, she's.
it was like they just needed like a filler villain. Like let's just, I know the zombies are like the main bad individuals, but let's throw in like an antagonist and be like, all right, I need something random. Okay, you're the villain, and this is what you need to do. Halfway.
Even still, though, I feel like it should have been stronger than that.
Yep, she should
You
have been.
know, it should have been a lot stronger than that. Because and I wish they would have gave us a better explanation or an explanation of, unless I overlooked it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but as to why they weren't attacking her at first, the zombies.
No, they didn't really do much explaining throughout the whole entire movie. Tell you the truth, like we don't know why the zombie apocalypse happened. The guy just woke
No.
up in the cell. His partner's infected, and that's it. We don't get why everything's happening. We don't get as much even like why is she the bad guy? Why is she
Mm-mm.
doing what she's supposed to? Why is she doing this? It's
What
like,
she thinks, yeah. And I'm like, that's the problem I guess you have with this is like I said, the visuals are pretty cool, but the story you don't get much of an explanation of anything. You get a good amount of dialogue, maybe more than what you need, but then again, it's like it's not enough of the important information that you need. It's like
right,
what's going on, why is this going on, this, that, and the third. You get little bits of things. You get more like relationship shit than anything.
you
You
get
know
that
what I
big
mean?
relationship with the main character and his long lost girlfriend that he finds.
I'll even say relationships, but just amongst the characters in general, not even just like the love stuff, but just in general, friendships, all that, all that stuff. Betrayal, and you get all that. But I'm like, okay, cool, but what about the story? Like,
Right,
okay, these people either love each other or hate each other, but what about like, why the hell is this going on? What? Where is this coming from? Where the fuck are these coming from? Is this all over the place?
right.
How come when Detective Summers, which was Tony Todd's character, Detective Summers, when he's calling out for help, there was no response. They didn't even they didn't show any other things. They just kept showing like where they were and like people like right directly outside. But you know what I mean? They didn't show like any other type of stuff. Like I'm just like, so was everybody else dead? Was everybody else wiped out?
Right. We
Are
don't
all
know for
connections
sure.
down? Maybe they just weren't by their things at the time and they got to it too late. You know what I mean? Like they that's what bothers me about it, and that's my rating will when we get to those. My rating will reflect that. But I did again. It's something that I did have fun with. I just wouldn't watch it again.
I did like the ending. The ending gave us a good, like, shot to the gut, kind of
Hmm.
like the movie The Mist. Did you see The Mist?
It's been a while, but
Stephen
yes,
King.
where he, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, at the end, this movie gave us kind of like that ending too, where I don't want to spoil it because
No, you
that's
can spoil it.
no, I
You
don't
can
want
spoil
to because people want to see it. You want to get it's like it's one of those ones where you don't really
it.
want
Okay.
to spoil it because it's a it sucks. And you watch it, you're like, oh fuck,
The
like
ending is
and it
worth it.
reminds you of the movie The Mist. So if you know the movie The Mist, you know what I'm talking about. So then they'll realize that. But
Yeah.
I did like that ending. I did like how they played it off. It wasn't bad. Like I said, I found this movie dirt cheap, so I'm glad I didn't spend a lot of money to pay to watch it. If I spent a lot of money to watch it, I would probably be a little more disappointed. But since I found it dirt cheap, I'm like, all right, it was a good time waster. It was a good little zombie flick to kill some time or have something on in the background, something you can't really take real serious because it's one of those. It's an okay film, but it's also all right. It has my attention for a little while on that.
Yeah, yeah. It's just something to where again I'm gonna dive right back to the story. I wish the story was better,
Mm-hmm.
and then you have a good movie because honestly, even if you use the same people in this movie acting, the only difference I would change is the only thing I would change is put somebody else in that role of the villain. Keep it female, keep female villain, and give her a different role in the film. But maybe someone that's not a villain, or if she's a villain, she's an assistant. But I don't think she's a good lead villain. She's not believable enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
But if she's like a second assist, if she's a number two or like an assistant, you know what I mean? Like I don't want to say you know what I mean? Like the go get the coffee, fill these out, answer the phone, do this kind of stuff. But you're also doing other things. You're driving me around. You're doing hits if you have to. You know what I mean with the zombies. But you're not the lead.
Right.
But yeah, that'd be my main thing, and then just get the story, connect something with the story. Because that's what I was saying. Is like I would say keep the same everybody that was in this movie, keep the same people that are in this movie, and just have a better script, have a better story
I think they
around.
had more time and like a bigger budget. I think they would probably do better if
That's
the
fair.
because the guy who directed also wrote it. So maybe if he had more time and he maybe had a better budget, we could get something going to make it more cohesive. Versus
Yeah, but I
this
mean,
is happening, and nothing else.
but I just to play devil's advocate and just to argue it, I guess I could
Hmm.
say is if he's the one that wrote it, you can always rewrite it.
Right. Well, it looks like he's making a sequel.
Okay. Now, with that said, if the
Apocalypse.
sequel, I hope the sequel works. I hope the sequel happens. I hope the sequel has a bigger budget. I'm saying that, and I know it's a different type of story because of the source material and this, that, and the third. But I'm going off of Blood and Honey, the original one, the first one, sorry, versus part two. Part two was such a great, 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 in my opinion. I don't want to say like it was an amazing movie, but it was way better than the first one to me. And you could tell that they probably heard the complaints from fans and they had a bigger budget, so everything looked better. The story was like everything was better. The story was better.
Yeah.
It was more cohesive. And hopefully, if they do make a sequel for this, it's the same way. Joe, how's it going, man? How's it going? I hope
What's up,
everything's
Joe?
going great. Thank you for popping in. Excuse me.
But with
Um,
like with the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey, like I said, the first one, he only
mhm.
had a specific budget. He couldn't do what he wanted. He wanted more. So with budget
Yeah,
constraints and everything, yeah, we got those weird mass type things. But when it
which
did so well and how everyone wanted. He's like, all right, now I have a bigger budget. Now I could put more money towards the special effects.
And I get it for that, more so for this because excuse me.
I just didn't
With
like how he
that
changed the story in
with,
the second one.
with that one, with the gore and the craziness and the violence of that, you wanted that crazy gore.
Oh
And
yeah,
it's like, okay, let me make everything look the best I can with what I have now. But if I can get a bigger budget, part two, I'll step up. I'm not saying the story was amazing for part two. It was better than what it was for part one. They put it together more, I guess, with the brother and all that. But, you know, I
I
had a good
can't
time.
wait to see what they're gonna do with the rest of the universe. They're doing a whole
I
universe of that.
know. Bambi's gonna be awesome.
Yep.
Freaking shit. Part three of this I'm looking forward to. Like this whole universe I'm looking
Mhm.
forward to. I cannot wait.
The trailer for
For
Peter was it Peter Pan is out. That looks
yeah,
interesting.
you already know I don't do trailers though, man.
I
But I
know,
feel like some of
but
these
the teaser
movies,
for Bambi looks good.
Blood and Honey 1 and 2, we should probably do that on Sturd Vision one of these nights. Well, we
Yeah,
could even separate, do one at a time, of course, if you guys wanted. But oh shit, man, because I'm so let's talk about that for a little bit. I'm sure you're probably the same as me, and I'm sure Henry's the same. But as far as like them doing our childhood books and shows and cartoons and movies into horror, I'm excited as hell. And it's one of those things where it's like, I wish they did this back when we were kids. Maybe, yeah. I wish they did this back when we were kids. I know I would have watched it. I'd have been so damn excited because I loved horror just as much as I loved cartoons as a kid. It was so normal for me.
I would say I'm glad they're doing it now versus now. I don't think I wouldn't watch it as a kid back then. I think it would have gotten more because the way it would have been made would have been not so good, and I think the times would have not have done it justice. Like now we have a whole bunch of time in between, better technology, better effects, and everything makes it look more better. But again, if you turn all our childhood into horror, I'm all for it. I think
Let's
it's pretty cool. Um, I know some people are like, "Oh my god, it's ruining my childhood." Oh please, come on, you had a great childhood. It's not ruining your childhood. It's just making you piss off because your little cutesy little Winnie the Pooh bear is now going around murdering people. But again, that's for me. I'll watch it any day. You don't have to
same.
watch it. No one's forcing you to watch these films.
Oh
So
yeah,
therefore,
that between that and it's like you still have the original content for it if you didn't want to watch the extra stuff. Bronson, how's it going? Appreciate you stopping in. Oh yeah, I read that somewhere, and I
mhm,
believe he wasn't chosen because he wasn't like tall enough or something, right? Or wasn't like big enough. If I'm not mistaken, I could be mistaken with that.
yeah, he didn't fit the role that they wanted.
And Tony Todd is just perfect for that role. I can't see anybody else playing that role. Honestly,
No,
I can't. I mean, I don't know if anybody else can. I can't. But yeah, back to that. Like, and I would have watched it as a kid. I'll even say, what if they made it like if it was more animated, like some cartoon instead of live action?
that would be cool. Like if you do like the weird, I hate to say it, but do the weird the Japanese animation style, like they did in the '80s. They had that great colors. The drawings were fantastic. You did it that way.
Yeah,
That would be awesome. I would definitely like. There's
you
some
think it?
awesome '80s horror anime that.
That's what I'm saying. Would you have watched it as a kid
Oh
then
yeah,
if it looked like that as a kid? However, the
yep.
cartoons look for that, you know what I mean, for that
Mhm.
time period. That's what I mean. Not because live action they wouldn't. No, it
No,
wouldn't. It wouldn't. It would honestly live action. Like say if they did it as a horror movie and like a serious horror movie as a animated one, the live action version of that for that time would be too silly and too cartoony, even though it's live action.
right. But also too is you would have Disney all over their asses because Winnie the Pooh was still licensed under Disney during
Mhm.
that time. So that's why Pooh can do it now because they lost the
Oh
license.
yeah, the licensing. Yeah,
So the whole license, they got to wait for licensing and everything. So
yeah,
like with Disney too, Mickey Mouse, the Steamboat Willie, they're making a horror film called Screamboat,
yeah.
and
And there's one called Mousetrap or
oh,
something. Now
that was
I didn't watch it
horrible.
yet.
It's
I heard it was
bad.
horrible. I'm still gonna check it out, and I
Yeah,
gotta give my
I still bought it and checked it out. I'm like, man, this one sucks.
say my piece. I didn't watch it yet,
Yeah,
and yeah,
get ready
I
for a
agree.
stinger.
I agree, Joe, with the public domain they're letting out and releasing. Looking forward to pop out. I am too because I love watching any of those things. I just hope that they really do them justice. Like I don't want them to be. I mean, which I get why because you want to get your name out there, but I don't want too many of them. I don't want it to be flooded to where everybody's just doing them just to do them because they can do them. Like I would love for someone to really like sit down, think about it, and really like write like an amazing. I don't care about the budget or the looks per se. Here's why.
That's what that mousetrap was. It was so rushed and everything just to
Just
get it.
because they could do it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I want something that like you take your time and you think about it. You write like a really cool story and like a really cool story that's a really good horror story that makes sense for that. And you put that out there, we're gonna pay attention to that. We're gonna back that. And it's like, oh shit, yo, they're making a sequel to this. They need more money because they have the vision, they have a story that we all fucking wanted for this horror movie. Now let's help them get the visuals that
right.
we know they can do. They just need the money for it. And it's so much which I again I do understand the whole let's get out there, let's get our name out there, but it's like if you I also look at it like listen, let's take our time, let's get out there. Yes.
Plus, the two is I
Let's
think
not
with.
be,
Oh, well, go
let's
ahead.
not be the first. Let's not be the first to get out there. Let's be memorable. Let's be the ones that they're just like, oh, let's still be the ones that people want to come back for or see more from. Not, oh shit, I'm out here first. Boom, 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 boom. I got all these people watching this. Oh, it sucks. Blah 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 blah. Which is cool to be in that conversation, yes, but you want to last.
But that's why I think where the Winnie the Pooh, the first movie, comes in. It's one of the ones where it started it. It's the catalyst for all these kid movies turning into horror films. But also, it is memorable. And it's like, what do you do? Like, how do we make this a great film, but also make it to, like, we don't want to piss everybody off because we want it to do well.
Yeah,
And the guy's like, well, you know what? I've always wanted to do this. Let's try it out and just throw it out there. It wasn't rushed. But again, yeah, okay, didn't have the budget, so the faces and everything look kind of
oh, for
masky.
cool, yeah.
But again, it's the first one. Okay. Usually they get better if they decide to make another one. But again, it was the catalyst that started this whole let's turn children's movies into horror films. It's like, all right, let's see what
As
they
far as
can do next
mad,
now.
yeah. Which I'm super interested in the whole thing with it. All right, let me tell you this though. We did go to watch Cinderella's Revenge. Me and the wife went to go see that last year. It was
Wh-
it sucked.
Which one?
It was called Cinderella's Revenge.
Okay.
It was horrible.
Mm.
It was bad. Would I watch it again? Maybe, but it was bad. You would probably. I know you would watch it.
I
And
watched one about Alice in Wonderland and it sucked. I'm like, this one was so bad. I think it was called Alice in. I forgot the title. I watched. It was just so bad. I'm like, this sucks. I'm fast forwarding. Usually, when if I fast forward through a movie, I want to
uh,
get done and over because the other times I just can't stop and just end it. I have to.
mhm,
I'm already dove into this thing. I
invested
have
for
to.
the end,
I
at
have
least
to finish to see how it goes off.
jump through some
Oh,
of the stupid dialogue.
yep.
Oh man,
Oh
I hate
my
when you do
god,
that.
it was atrocious. It was one of those ones I found at Walmart. I'm like, all right, let's try how they do Alice in Wonderland in this one, and so
Nope.
bad.
You're a guy that watches trailers. I'm surprised you didn't check out the trailer first. I just go in. Or
Well,
is it
this
different
one
when you go to
this
buy
one I
it?
went in because I was at Walmart doing some shopping. And
Okay.
it was a Tuesday, so new releases come out. So I said, yeah, let's check out the new releases. Going through. Oh, okay, this Alice and whatever the fuck it was called. I
I
look
like
at the back. The back sounds interesting. I'm like, all right, I don't have time, but I'll pick it up and dive in. Yeah, I dove in headfirst into the shallow end pretty bad. It was bad.
it happens, man. It
Yeah, it
happens.
happens.
You gotta take
It's a learning lesson.
the thing I like about that though, like going for those type of movies, is you find some gems. You find some gems,
You have
and
to
you
read a
find
lot
like
of garbage to get to those gems.
yeah, yes, but sometimes you luck out. Sometimes you hit a streak because there's times where whether it be streaming or buying, you hit a streak of some horrible shit, some
Yep.
shit where you're just like, I'm not even gonna try to. I'm gonna give this away. Yo, Matt, you I don't need those. I already have 6 of them.
I don't want that. I've seen it. It sucks.
But no, seriously, it's like it's that gamble. But then sometimes you hit that streak of like yo, this movie's weird, but I like it a lot. Oh
Hmm.
wow. And this wasn't one of those movies. Going back to zombies, it was it was fun. It was fun. As a matter of fact, I'll give you my rating. I'll give it a 5. 5 out of 10. Well, with my negatives on it, but I'll give it a 5.
Right. Yeah, I'd actually go around the same.
5?
I give it a
Okay.
5 as well.
Which isn't bad. Isn't bad at all. And it's just man. Again, I keep saying it, but it's you want more of a story in this type of movie. And there was nothing. There was like just bits and pieces like we said of the relationships and stuff, but why were the zombies there? Why was this woman controlling the zombies? How was she controlling the zombies?
Right.
What was the connection between her? Because remember how she took her eye patch off and they made sure they looked at her eye? Like, what
Yep.
was that about? Was she like partial zombie? Did she have a zombie eye? Like, what was that? They didn't even explain that.
Nope.
And I'm just like, what was the point of even showing that? She might as well have kept the stupid ass patch on and kept just putting her like Karen mean face on. That's what it felt like. Not even that. It felt like I don't even know. Like it felt like a fake mad face. See, like how like when you're playing around with a little kid and you're just being silly with a kid. That's how it felt like with her playing the villain in this movie.
Hmm.
Like it wasn't believable. It felt like she was just joking around. Not it just wasn't. I don't know if it was supposed to be like that or not, but I'd rather that character be a lot darker, even in a horror. It was like a horror. Well, they call it horror action. I guess you can call it horror action. Maybe a little comedy to it.
Yeah, it's mostly a lot of action. Yeah, definitely.
Well, it was definitely horror action,
Hmm.
but shit, I don't really have too much more to say about this.
Yeah, this one's kind of like it's one of those ones where you watch it, it's a one and done for a while. Maybe down the road, maybe you like a couple years, you'll look at your shelf and be like, hey, you know what? I'll revisit this one and see how it plays off. Maybe it might be better down the road, but it's gonna take a while to get there.
Yeah, this is a one and done for me.
Yeah.
And yeah, the Eddie Murphy Haunted Mansion, it was fun. I did like the newer one better. Not a huge fan of them, but I did like the newer one better. They were both fun films, but those are really actually those are really good family films. Both of those too. Watching them back to back, if you got kids especially, they're really good family films. I would highly recommend. That you can kind of try to get them started in the horror realm in a sense.
Hmm.
That's actually a good that's a good mention right there. Appreciate that. But you got anything else to say about these movies, Matt? Or this movie?
Not really. Like I said, this is kind of like a it's there, it's done with, and it's over with.
It
There's not much. There's not much really to talk about with this one.
it sucks to say that too, but that's exactly it's there. It's you've seen it. It's done with. It's worth a one. It's definitely worth a one time watch. But
Like if you're
mm,
a Tony Todd fan, for sure,
yeah, hell yeah, hell
definitely. Maybe if you find this cheap, pick it up because again, if you like to collect Tony Todd films, since he
yeah.
passed, definitely pick it up. But don't spend too much money on it because it's not worth buying a lot into it. So if you can find it for
And
a couple bucks, definitely do it.
yeah, I say Tony Todd film or zombie films. You could knock both of those out. You're getting both, and like you said, if you find it cheap, get it. But we're gonna wrap this one up. Make sure to check out Matt, you and your horror movies, and come right over here and check out Horror vs. 30 and Stereo Vision right at Horror vs. 30 on YouTube. Appreciate you all for tuning in, for conversating with us. But it's been a long one. It's been a long day, and it's time to take a nice little vacation, a nice little break. Like I said, I got one more show this weekend on Popcorn and Pints, and then it'll be time to take a nice little break. Which, really quick, I do want to check out Pluto Nash. I know I've never seen it. I heard it was terrible. Matt's probably seen it. He probably owns it.
But Pluto
But
Nash, no,
yeah, you don't.
no,
Oh, it's not a horror movie. Never mind.
that's right.
But I
I
do want to see
my
it
horror
though.
films.
I Spy. I kind of want to see because Danny Trejo's in it. But yeah, we're gonna get on out of here though. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for watching. Merry Sturtmas. And we'll see you next time. I'll see you in your nightmares. Peace. And Happy
Later.
New Year if you don't see us on Popcorn and Pints. And again, have a great happy holidays, everybody out there. Happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and every other holiday I'm not sure of. I just hope you have a happy times.